Some crazy weather we had last night, and we're still having now. It was like thunder and ice and cold, and some people were getting rain, some people were getting sleet, some people were getting snow, but everybody was getting thunder. It's very interesting how weather patterns exist. So it came. Behold the fellow nipple. This is the Prismo AeroPress coffee maker attachment. This is from Fellow. Like I said yesterday, Fellow does quite a few coffee devices, and this is one of them. So box, a nice simple box, illustrating the things that can happen. That's going to be interesting. I wonder if we're going to get any kind of like crema like that. We will find out shortly. Here is, oh look, it's instructions. Espresso style coffee. Well, we're gonna grind this down to the finest point and see how long that takes, and then we'll go from there. Lock and load. Add the goods. Final push. That's great. So, yep. Heat water. It says 212, which I think is the boiling point of water. Anyway, I mean, so yeah, I mean, we're in that. Kettle's in that zone. Once I hit 200, I feel pretty good about my water temperature. So we're going to attach this stuff. And what's nice is we're not going to have any of it leak, so we won't have to put the plunger on. Because if we're using, so the whole deal with this is, and let's get it out. Looks like a burger. Burger. Nice wrapping paper. Here are apparatus. So there's this fine mesh filter, the little fellow with a little bow tie under the O. I always thought that was cute. And then here is our dealio, fresh with factory schmutz, which we will wipe off right now. So basically, it's pressured in here, so when you push the plunger down, it opens this little orifice down here and coffee shoots through. In such a fine stream that I think that's how it, in pressure, I think that's how it makes the crema. The crema is the foamy bit stuff on the top of the coffee that just comes from pressure and aerating the coffee enough to create foam without milk or anything like that. I suppose we'll do the same thing to this. This is a rubber gasket around the mesh. I will be gentle with this. And if we can kind of watch here, I don't know if we can. Let me see. Nothing's going through it. I mean, there's a drip, and then there's the drip here, but it goes through very, very, very slowly. So that's a really fine mesh, but you can kind of see through it a little bit. All right. So that goes in here. And then this goes on the bottom of this. Fits fairly snugly. I mean, it's supposed to, because water's not going to drip out of there. I will say, though, that's really interesting. It only goes so far there, whereas this one, of course, hooks all the way around and fills those little areas there to show that it's locked in. This one is not, I mean, it can twist a little bit, but it doesn't quite fill that up. I think we'll be okay. So basically the premise of this is it delivers a different kind of coffee experience because of the pressure valve here, the gated valve. This of course just lets, with the filter, will just let water come through because it's just a paper filter. So I mean, it's not going to hold anything back except the larger particulates of the coffee grounds, which we will pull out now. Please. I did clean that off, so it's behaving in a finicky way. Whoa, way too much. I want about 17 grams. 17 to 18 grams. Oops. $18.7 is nice. That's a good number. It's a number we don't see very often, 18.7. Why don't we see 18.7 more often? Put you to the side. We'll get this ground up. Oops. I didn't spritz it. I think we'll be okay. I mean, we won't be okay, but we'll try to be okay. And you can kind of see here why we're not okay. The static is real, and that is my fault. I should have spritzed my beans. I did it twice this week. I've suddenly forgotten to, and now the retention is just out of this world. Oh, in the back here, there are important safety tips. Check your Prismo to ensure all pieces are accounted for. Keep Prismo away from children. Do not taunt Prismo. Do not put in the microwave. While brewing, Prismo and your brewing vessel may become hot. Use caution placing Prismo on top of mugs. Oh. Is there a risk of AeroPress coffee maker and Prismo falling over? Okay, so that's just a general. Because, I mean, this is there, but it's, I mean, it is that, you know? So it doesn't fit necessarily every mug snugly. You don't really want it to either. Getting it hard out and getting it hard up could also cause spillage of hot water. Apply dish soap and soft sponge. Wash all parts thoroughly. Cleaning and maintenance. Use guide. Take care to place Prismo's metal filter right side up with the logo facing you. So, yep, so it's just a new way to use a different device to do something different with coffee, which is kind of cool. All right, so water is done. I'm really excited. This is fun. This is going to be fun. So anyway, I was kind of demonstrating. So you can see all of these multiple holes that you know are just basically just there to let the coffee shower out. And this is there just as a rudimentary thing to hold back the coffee grounds, which it does. It does very well. This device works incredibly well. The biggest problem with this device is that there is no way to hold the coffee back unless you put the top on, whoop, magically, and then kind of apply pressure back a little bit to stop, to put a vacuum in, because between the coffee, the water, and the stopper, there'll be a vacuum, a little bit of a vacuum, and it will be enough to hold the coffee back, sorta. That's why a lot of people came up with the inverted method, which is taking the device itself, turning it upside down, putting this in to start with, putting coffee in, putting water in, and then letting it sit to brew like this, and then putting your top on. You wet this and it sticks, so you don't have to worry about it falling off. But you put the top on, screw it on, and then you take the task, as you've seen me do several times, of inverting. So that's the inverted method that we use to hold on to as much coffee as we can before it drips out. Because like I said, this way, you put the stopper in, a little coffee comes out. And then you pull back, and then the coffee that's in there hasn't touched the coffee grounds as much as you probably would want it to. So in this method, everything gets held back by the device at the bottom. I probably ought to do that in a clear mug. I think I will. Because we want to see it come out the bottom, because that's the fun part, I think. Clear. Well, I mean, we can actually put we should be able to put this on here because nothing will leak out. So that's how we'll measure. So yeah, no paper filter, just the metal filter. And we will put the 18.7 grams in there. Didn't look like we lost any through retention. That's nice. Good. And then we're going to add, we'll just fill it up. I think we can do about 250 grams, but we'll fill it up and we'll see what happens. I've got a spoon because after about the 2-minute mark, I'm going to stir it and then we're going to start the process. But first, we're going to see how well all of this works and see if anything rolls out of it on the bottom here. Let's do do 250 if we can. We need to leave, well, I guess we may not be able to get, yeah, here we will. We need to leave room at the top to put the plunger down. 250.5. Madman. We need to keep room up here at the top so that we can put the plunger in, but we won't put the plunger on until we're ready to put the coffee in here. So as we can see, not a drop has been spilled coming out of the bottom. Whereas with this, it would be free flowing and the counter would be covered. So we'll let that sit for about a minute and a half. We'll stir it, we'll take it to 2 minutes, and then we'll start doing our thing here. And I'll put it on the iPhone so that we can kind of see everything happening. I'm really excited, and it's really kind of nice. I always felt comfortable doing it. I always kind of made fun of the whole danger part of the inverted method, but there is a danger there because you're handling hot stuff. This has got 200-degree liquid in it. This is already hot. This is fiddly if it's just sitting at the very top, so there's air here where you could just crack it just a little bit and stuff could start pouring out. You have to invert it onto the mug, which means there's that whole twist, which means this could fail. It could unseat from the mug. Water could go everywhere. Hot water could go everywhere. There's just a lot of different things and a lot of different reasons why it's dangerous, because it's 200-degree water. You know, that's boiling. That's bad. That's something you don't want to have contact on your skin. If you've seen any movie, any action movie, you've probably seen boiling water used as a weapon. It's the same principle here. I'm gonna give that a little bit of a scrub too. So this alleviates that. And as I kind of showed yesterday, you have to buy the AeroPress version of this. You have to buy the apparatus and the mesh separately. Now the mesh might not be necessary, but it will keep all of those fine particulates of coffee out of the Prismo. So, you know, and that could gunk up the works, make it so that it's not it won't seal reliably or won't seal completely. Oh gosh, we've gone past time that I wanted. So let's give this a little bit of a stir. Not too violent, just enough. And now we're going to move this off of here. Look how much volume we've lost. I feel like we filled that up further, but we've lost a little bit of volume because the coffee is soaked up and there's an extraction going on. And extraction involves coffee rehydrating itself. So there's a lot of fat coffee particles in there. This is condensation from the heat, and maybe just a little bit. No, I think it's more condensation just from the heat and the water and everything. So we're gonna put this here. I'm gonna switch to the phone and we're gonna make this cool. And there you have it. That is the Prismo from Fellow, makers of fine things like grinders and kettles and scales and probably a lot of different coffee things, probably coffee filters. So what we do is we take this off, and there you can kind of see that's the bottom in here, and it's all out. It's pressed all the way to the bottom. So we'll just take this. There we go, suck that out of there. Probably shouldn't have done that. I probably should have taken this off. It makes some funny noises. Oh, that's great. The hilarity. This is gonna be interesting. Let me pull this off here. Yeah, okay, so this is gonna be a lot different because it looks like the coffee is gonna settle on top of the filter, which means it's not all going to go into the trash. With the paper filters, you get a nice coffee puck in the trash, but here it looks like you're gonna have a little bit of coffee on top of the mesh. We might have to wait for that to, oh wait, there it comes out. It just sits in there, you know, nicely. It's not, it did seem stuck for a second though. So yeah, so there it is. That is the fellow. I didn't see any crema, but I think I have to have an incredibly fine espresso blend, and maybe next week on Tuesday, on our one coffee that we're going to do, I will get the finally, what, mocha, the yellow bag of coffee out, and we will see if that gives us any crema as I prep for the days ahead. And whatnot. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because Tuesday will be the coffee day, but then Tuesday afternoon, Mom and Dad are going to come up, and then they're going to stay the evening, and then Dad's going to probably take us to the airport and then go home. And then when we come back, Matt will pick us up from the airport. Mom will stay the night, and then Dad will come and pick her up. So it's going to be very interesting. So anyway, let's see what this did. Still smells really nice. It might be just a hair bitter, more bitter than, I mean, it's definitely a lot more bitter than in the Chemex. The Chemex gave us a really bright, fruity coffee. This definitely basted a little bit, because like I said yesterday, you know, fruity notes brighten everything up. Brighten, you know, it takes your taste buds and it goes wow with the electricity. But you know, if it's a little bit more bitter, it kind of takes your taste buds and kind of goes a little lower. You know, so it's bass. There's a treble and a bass when it comes to coffee, and this seems to add more bass to the coffee. It's not unpleasant bitterness. It's just this coffee extracted in a different way to give a different flavor profile. There's still a little bit of acidity, a little bit of sweet fruit going on, but definitely more lends itself to the bitterness of the Arabica, because this is Arabica, I do believe. Yeah, 100% Arabica whole bean coffee. A little bit more bitter, which, you know, again, not a bad thing. People like dark roasts. So if you want your light roast to taste a little bit more dark, the AeroPress may be the way to go. Like if you're stuck with a light roast, how do you get stuck with a light roast? I don't know. But that's really nice though. It sounds like I'm talking down about it, but I'm definitely not. That's actually tastes really nice through that. So we will continue to experiment with the AeroPress and this wonderful Prismo device that basically takes the AeroPress and reverts it. Instead of inverting it, it reverts it back to standing straight up and down. Go team. Thank you for watching today. Thank you for watching this week. I really appreciate it. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for stopping by. I'm about due, honestly, for another dusting of the shelves, which I might do, actually. I may do a dusting update because, you know, I've moved a lot of those. I've gotten a lot of Exo 6 figures, and that might be an interesting way to redust the shelves. I moved a lot of stuff out and put a lot of new stuff in. So maybe I'll do that in the coming weeks, at least after the majority of this going to Florida and coming back has been settled. So I hope you have a great weekend. We'll be back on Tuesday. Like I said, we're going to see if I can get crema out of this. There really wasn't anything in the instructions. It just says use espresso style coffee. So that's probably that grind. I mean, this can't do espresso. This can get up to an incredibly fine grind, but it's not espresso at all. So we're just not going to hit the mark with this Encore. But I do have some espresso coffee up there, I think, or at least incredibly finely ground, and we'll try that next Tuesday. Until then, have a great weekend, have a great Friday, get through your Monday, and we'll see you on the other side. Talk to you later. Bye.